Podcast Kollective presents Episode 1, featuring Beyond I and Slade Capades. The first segment, Astrology 101. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Janet. We're laughing because this is the first time we're recording.
And I'm a little nervous.
I'm excited, more than nervous.
Nervous? But... Okay, I'm a little nervous. Also excited of the topics that we're going to talk about together. Starting off with the first topic, which is astrology.
One of my favorites and dearest.
Yes. And one that has been in my life for a very, very, very long time. I can't remember when I found out I was a Sagittarius. I always had to read about Sagittarius, and I wanted to know what our traits were. Sags being freedom lovers, adventurers, and travelers of the world, you know. I realized that it also fed into a little bit of my ego, because there's nothing like reading about yourself. And I know that people sometimes are saying, well, how can one sign be all of these people and all of these people have that same trait? So.
And I really like that you said my ego, because the only reason why you're telling me right now that you're a Sagittarius is because that's your sun sign. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's my sun sign.
Yeah. And I mean, for those astrologers out there and astrology followers, especially in the West Coast, in LA, everyone knows about their big three.
Yes.
And in reality, the sun sign is just the ego and the pride of that person. The way I explain astrology, I always break it down in two different aspects. Mm-hmm. The first aspect is for predictions, to predict the future, because your natal chart is supposed to be your blueprint, right? What is it that your soul decided for you? And you can read the aspects and the placements and the degrees and all those things based on the natal chart. But you do it based off your rising sign. Because the rising sign is the one that determines the whole natal chart. The rising sign, if you believe in reincarnation, is the sign that was in the eastern horizon. So that was a portal for your soul to enter this vessel, this body.
Okay.
So once the soul enters the vessel, that's like the stamp. And that's your natal chart. Now, the other aspects of astrology is the personality traits, and that's linked to numerology. You can explain a lot of the personality traits and a lot of the different aspects of a human being, like the ego, that's the sun sign, the emotional or the inner self, that's the moon sign, mm-hmm. the mind and the way they articulate their words and connect their language with their mind, that's Mercury, right?
Okay.
Their love life and things that they like to acquire in this lifetime is Venus. Mm-hmm. The drive and how they want to be assertive in life and achieve things, that's Mars, and so on and so forth. We can discuss Jupiter, Saturn, all of the planets, because in reality all these zodiac signs hold an energy from numerology. Mm-hmm. If you think about Aries, that's number 1, Taurus number 2, we get to your sun sign, which is Sagittarius, that's a number 9. We said that we were going to discuss our big threes, right?
I'm from the East Coast.
Right.
So for me, it was just Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. When I moved to LA, then it was, oh, what are your big three? And
you're like, what?
What? We need big three. And so
you're like, do I need a mushroom for this?
Yeah, exactly. Like big three, like my big three top NFL teams. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. So I had to, find an app that you put your information in. It gives you your what is it again?
Your sun, Your rising or ascendant, your sun, and your moon. That's your big three.
But
to get to that point,
Yeah.
you need your date of birth, your location of birth, right?
That's what the apps usually ask for.
Or if you go to an astrologer, a professional one, that's what they need to draw your natal chart.
But why is it important, I guess, to know the three?
Many other people may think differently, right?
Yeah.
To me, the most important sign is your rising sign or ascendant, because that's the sign that is going to determine everything else. A lot of TikTokers and social media influencers, they will say, no, the rising sign is just who you present to the society, the face you want to show to others.
Right.
But it's more than that, way more than that. Because the rising sign will always be placed in the first house of the 12 houses of your natal chart. And each house has a number, holds energy. So that rising sign is dictating everything else. That's why it's the most important. And I want to make sure that everyone understands that every aspect and placement is very important, because it holds energy and it holds meaning for the person. But the sun sign is very important because it's the ego and the pride. So basically, you want to become that Sagittarius because that's your sun sign. You want to be free. You want to acquire knowledge. You want to travel the world. You want to experience everything.
Amen, brother. Yes.
There you go. The funny thing is that I'm also a Sagittarius sun sign, and I am on the same boat as you are. Right. We want to experience everything. But then the third aspect that is very important as part of the big three is the moon, because it shows your inner self, who you are emotionally. Also, the moon is the one that we see right away, and is the one that moves the fastest around the whole zodiac. It speaks of the energy, the inner self, who you are inside. So in your case, you're a Libra moon.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful placement. In my case,
I was going to say, what are you?
Please don't hate me.
I never.
Don't. Well, I was speaking to our listeners.
Oh, okay. They won't hate you either.
He is an Aquarius moon? What? Yes, I am.
Aquarius?
And we're known for being very detached emotionally because we try to rationalize our emotions, right? Libras are more mellow. They like to connect. And as you know, this is a podcast, so we have
some background noise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
okay.
yeah.
It's
so,
weird.
as I was saying, Libras are more mellow. They like to connect. They like to be in relationships. They're very kind and nice and nurturing. In my case, I internalized a lot of my emotions because I try to be analytical about it. It could be good in a professional setting, but when you're trying to be vulnerable and express your emotions with your loved ones, that's when it's tough. And I say it based on my own experience, right?
Right.
I don't know if we want to discuss the other planets right now, but as a similar aspect to the moon is Mars, because it's about decision making, being assertive. It's funny because when people ask me, well, I'm a Libra Mars or I'm a Libra Moon, I was okay. So in my head, I'm already thinking like you have so much internal conflict trying to make a decision. It affects both, trying to make a decision from the Mars placement and aspect, and the moon, your emotions. So you're battling that a lot. When I see someone that has Libra in the Venus planet or Mercury or the rising or the sun, is not as much. Yes, I can be a little bit indecisive sometimes, but not all the time. Just to give a little bit of context on how Libra energy affects someone. And that's why a lot of people are confused and they don't believe in astrology because they don't understand it that well.
Right.
It's very complex. You also need to understand numerology. And you have to understand that there's so many cultures out there in the world that they've done astrology for millennia. So if you're comparing Chinese astrology, with Vedic astrology, with Western astrology, with Mayan Cosmo astrology, and everything has to match, it's never going to happen. The only way you can make sense is if you use numerology.
Math or numbers is
Universal
language.
Right?
Right.
Any country you go, they speak math. They know numerology. So that's the only way you can make sense. Now, one thing, and I want to mention this about Western astrology at least.
Okay.
A lot of people say, well, every time I read my horoscope, nothing makes sense, and to me that's just BS. And I'm like, well, hold on. Are you reading it from your sun sign? And they're like, well, duh, yes, that's what I'm doing. I was like, well, then you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
Horos means hour in Greek. So then you have to look into the rising or ascendant time, because the rising is determined by the hour of the person's birth. When I read my horoscopes, I always focus on my Libra rising. And when I read Libra, everything makes sense. I don't ever read Sagittarius or Aquarius at all. And why does that make sense? Because these horoscopes are being determined based on the movement of the stars for that month or that week. And it'll only make sense when you go based on your rising sign.
Okay.
Now, sun sign and moon sign, it's really cool to learn because that's your ego and your pride, and those are your emotions. And it's more based on personality traits, which is linked to numerology.
Yeah.
A lot of the time when people ask, hey, I wanna manifest the right astrology placements for my new partner, right? Because they're manifesting the new partner.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or let's say you already met this person and you want to see if you guys actually match.
That's
right?
okay.
The biggest mistake is matching your sun sign with their sun sign.
I've been doing it wrong.
Yes. Why would you want to match? Why would you want to match your ego with their ego?
That's why we didn't end up together.
Exactly. That's my point. So the things that you want to look into, the moon, you really want to match your emotions. Yeah. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Right now, I'm dating someone that has a Libra moon and I'm an Aquarius moon. So we have the same element, which is air. Huh? Yep.
Okay.
And we are a really good match emotionally.
Oh.
Now the other aspect you want to be looking for in a good match is the Mars sign. Why? It's because it's sex and intimacy.
That's right.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're going to have a good time with your partner, good sex. It's important, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't want someone that is a mismatch and then, yeah, emotionally you guys connect, but the Mars aspect is not compatible and then sex is horrible. Now, the other two that I always say, hey, well, it's important too, Venus and Mercury, right? Venus, do you guys like the same things? Do you appreciate the same type of beauty? Do you appreciate the same materialistic things? Because it's important. Maybe you want to buy a house and this person doesn't mind living in a motorhome. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you match the Mercury as well because you want to be able to communicate your thoughts into words. And if you're deciding to spend a lifetime or find a partner, at least try to communicate and be vulnerable and express these thoughts and emotions through words. So make sure you're matching with that other person's Mercury. That's why when they say, oh, well, I don't like astrology because you're just one sign. No, you're not. There's so many different aspects. There's so many different placements. So you're not just one sign. You are a beautiful makeup of numbers that we call astrology, zodiac signs. And just right there, I gave you the big six. If we go deeper into this, we can discuss Jupiter, midheaven.
What is midheaven?
It's an aspect and placement in your natal chart that will tell you all about the career path that you should be working on.
Okay.
And also your persona in a professional setting. Let's say it's your personal brand. Whether you have your own business or you have a 9 to 5.
I didn't know that.
When I used to do a lot of natal chart readings back in the pandemic times. But that's the reality, right? From 2020 to 2023. So I did a lot of natal chart readings. Every time, what is my life purpose? And here's the thing. Yes, you can see it in a natal chart because it's your blueprint. You should know what your life purpose is. Yeah, and if you haven't figured that out, you should focus your whole energy and mind and time to figure that out. Especially if you're someone that is over 28. And why do I say that? Because I'm gonna go back to astrology. You already met your first Saturn return at the age of 28. You should have an idea of what is it that makes you happy in terms of life purpose. And if for any reason something very traumatic happened in your life, by the age of between 37 and 38, you met your moon return, you should have that figured out then. So at some point in your life, even astrology is telling you need to put time to explore, to do introspection, to understand who you are to the core. Because when you go to a psychic, medium, tarot reader, or astrologer, or shaman, or Akashic readings, and you're asking them for what my life purpose is, it is sad. Without judgment, it is sad. Because this is for you to discover, not for someone to come tell you. That's not how it works. And I don't want to sound like a cliche, because you know I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But you get my point.
I do. And actually something, as you were talking, it was coming to me. If you were to give someone their life purpose, looking at their chart, you have created a shortcut journey instead of the projected path or journey that this person was supposed to take.
Correct.
What if on that projected path, they meet the love of their life? By giving them the shortcut, is it possible that now they're not going to meet the love of their life because their path has changed?
Yeah, that could be an outcome.
Wow. I didn't realize that astrology could be so specific like that. I had no clue.
Yeah. I feel like astrology for me has been one of those fun things to do because you really need to like reading and symbolism. And also you really need to like math. If you're good with numbers, you're gonna be good with astrology. I mean, there are some apps there that talk about human design and things like that. And they use a lot of astrology for that and numerology. It's basically both. And I want to believe that, and I'm just gonna close with this because I think it's time. If you really wanna explore astrology, make sure you learn the symbolism so that way you can read all these aspects, right, and understand them. Make sure you study numerology. And you need to understand that Western astrology takes a different approach on how they perceive the movement of the stars and the constellations from Vedic astrology, from Chinese astrology, from Jewish astrology, in comparison to the Mayan cosmo astrology. But every single one is different. And if you want to make sense of all of them and combine them in one, it's never gonna make sense. And it's gonna be more confusing and you're just gonna hate it, and you're just gonna be like, this doesn't work. This is just BS. Don't forget that we are in the planet where the language is symbolism. Of course, we're gonna come up with symbols and figures and things like that.
Yeah.
But go back to numerology.
Which is going to be our next segment.
Yes.
So stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned.
The next segment. Can someone dim your light?
Whoa, okay. All right.
All right, everybody. I'm Dayna.
I'm Shanti.
Together we are
the Slade Capades. The Slades. Yes, we are the Slades. That's SLADE.
Welcome to our segment.
Yes.
And I know that you don't know us,
Mm-hmm.
and we can get into details about us later, but we want to spend a little time as we get started to talk about what we're doing here. Like, what is this all about? So our segments are going to be real chill.
Yeah. Transparent. Authentic.
Organic, baby.
As organic as we possibly can be.
We just want to go with the flow.
That's right.
We're going to be kind of having a dialogue with one another about sometimes some philosophical questions, some existential questions.
Yeah.
Sharing our experiences, past, present, sharing our dreams related to the future, and bouncing some things off each other.
Yeah, catching a vibe with one another like we do. Really, this is just like who we are together. When we're by ourselves and we're just kind of kicking it and talking and stuff like that.
We're married.
Yes.
And we've been together for 13 years, married for 7.
Yes.
I'm an Aries.
I'm a lovable Leo.
So together we're both fire, but we have some grounding things about us that keeps each other in check.
That's for sure.
And we hope that you can catch a vibe with us, connect with us.
Absolutely.
All right. So today's topic.
Can someone dim your light?
Yeah, can someone dim your light?
Right.
Is today's topic. What do you think about that one, hon?
Absolutely. I've allowed, that's the secret, allowed right there. I allowed people to dim my light. So in essence, it was like I was dimming my own because I allowed it so many. You take recognition that someone is draining you. You have energy vampires around, though you might not be a vibrational match. And then you continue on and you wind up kind of like dimming your own light by allowing these things to take place.
When I think about that, it's kind of like saying two things in the same sentence, negating one. Because I guess from my perspective, no one can dim your light. So I understand what you're saying about the allowance.
Mm-hmm.
From my perspective, that is you allowing your light to be dimmed. You are making a choice to dim your light based on how someone is treating you. At the end of the day, I think that your light is your divine birthright, and that ultimately you turn that light up and down. You dim it, but nobody else has authority or domain.
I kind of get what you're
over
saying.
Your light.
You're right. It's kind of like the cloud in the sun.
What do you mean?
Well, the clouds come, but it doesn't mean that the sun is not there.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is always shining, divinely shining.
Mm-hmm. Shining bright.
Bright, always,
So
always.
when you're like go up in the plane and it looks like it's a rainy, dark day, but once you pass the clouds, the sun is there.
Right, the clouds can come and do whatever, and it can get right in front of you and block it. But at the end of the day, it is still shining.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
But when you really boil it down, I don't think anybody has the power They don't have that switch. They don't have that knob. So that makes me think about the saying about give your power away. From my perspective, no one can dim your light. No one can take your power.
Maybe in the agreeance that, in the belief that someone has taken your power, in a sense, has made you feel as though someone has taken your power. Your power still resides.
Still, your power is still there.
Right.
Your light is still there. Nobody can take your power. You can't give your power. It's your power. They have their own power. Like anything more than that is an illusion. Now, when you say it can feel like,
right, that's the difference.
Or something like that. Yeah, it can feel, but the reality is once you start to blame the people that you are in relationship with for the toxicity or the unhealthiness of the relationship. But when you start to dissect it and let it, filter on down,
get the ego out the way,
then you realize your role, your accountability, your responsibility, your part in it. And so I think it comes back to self.
It always comes back to self, right? I mean, there are people that are, or at least this is what I felt, they intentionally were trying to dim my light, intentionally trying to suck life out of me. And they did exactly what they were supposed to do in order for me to remember that I had a light in the first place. They were my mirror in showing me. They pushed me into expansion, in a sense. Once I said, this person is trying to steal my joy, then it let me know I had joy in the first place. If somebody's trying to steal my light, it's the remembrance that, oh, I have light. Had these things not happened, had I not had the feeling that someone had the intention of taking away my light, I probably would not have experienced the expansion, even recognizing that I had a light that was worth fighting for in the first place. But what you said, it's like now I had it so clear. But when you say your light, even with me saying, if you allow someone to take your light, they still cannot take away. Can't. It's like they can't take it away, but you can definitely feel like they're taking it away. There's the difference between feeling like someone's taking it away and someone actually taking it away. And they cannot take it away. You are absolutely right in that. This is the first time that I thought about it in that way. Hearing you say it like that makes so much sense to me. Yeah, I've never thought about it like that. If I am that, then it can't be taken away because I am that.
Like capital letters, I am.
I am.
When we dim our own light, well, sometimes it's because of survival. Sometimes it's because of trauma. Sometimes it's because of toxicity. And then that leads to self-doubt and self-criticism and fear of failure. And even in all of that, it's our work. It's our stuff. It's our light.
Stuff. That's right.
Our light is bright. It's the muck that I think builds on top of it that makes it appear that it has been dimmed. Then we pick people who aren't the best for us based on that.
Or are the best for us and we don't realize it.
Depending on what angle, what you're looking at.
How you're looking at it, right. It's very true. Because there's been plenty of times in my life that I guess I felt like victim. My brain trying to take my power, people trying to dim my light, and so forth and so on. It always starts with you and continues with you. It is what's the saying? You are that which you are already that which you seek. And how when we become victims in any kind of relationships, like we're always seeking to become light, seeking to become peace, seeking to be these things. And anybody who challenges that, they become a threat. We become a victim, and then we accuse them of taking the thing away
that we are already.
That we are already
divinely.
We are that already. No matter what.
What's that other saying? Was it well, I'm not going to say a name because I could be wrong in who said it. So I won't say a name and misname the author of the quote.
Right.
But there's a quote that you and I have reflected on and discussed many times before. Mm-hmm. And it's something, you're going to have to finish it for me because I can't think of how it finishes.
A lot of pressure.
But it's like, something about you're standing in my light.
Oh, there's a story behind that.
Oh, okay. Oh.
It's a story.
Break it.
So, okay. My brother and my, I can say sister-in-law, his wife, right? Mom was in a play.
Yes.
Was in a play.
That's where it was.
And this play.
Yes.
In this play, this woman was with an abusive man. And she started to remember who she was. Mm-hmm. And he went to go lay hands on her, and I don't mean in a good way. He was trying, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she stood up straight and she said no, like she didn't flinch, and it stopped his hand in midair. And she said no longer. She said, because I see you because you're standing in my light. Like, is that some powerful issue? What? You know what I mean? Like, I see you because you are standing in my light.
That's right.
Standing in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really wild. Yeah, that's yes. I'm so happy you remembered that in a way. You know. But you remembered it enough, for me to be able to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was powerful.
Yeah.
I see you because you're standing in my light. So I see all your bullshit, all the pain, all the things, because my light has become luminous because I've remembered who I am.
Who I am. Again.
I am.
All capital letters.
That's right.
All capital letters. It's the remembering.
That's right. It's the remembering. It seems like everything that it is, every challenge that we go through, all the obstacles, all the things, all the contrast is for us to remember, because we can't have one without the other. We would just be walking around all willy-nilly, but these people who have come into our life and that we might want to have had punched in the face. We might not want to punch them in the face sometimes. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I've been angry enough to the point where I have wanted to strangle somebody. I did not. But I have been so mad and so hurt and have felt so betrayed. And now I look back and I honestly thank them. I haven't thanked them to their face, but I have definitely thanked them to energy. Because had it not been for the pain, I would not have wanted the relief and the peace so much. The more pain there was, the more peace I summoned. The more I felt that my light was being dimmed, the more I summoned to become luminous. So they did what they were supposed to do. They triggered my ass into expansion for sure, because if it wasn't for that journey, I would not be here super in love, right. Sitting here with my best friend right now doing this awesome segment. That is the truth.
Living this amazing life.
That's the truth.
Yeah. No, all of the frogs that I've kissed over the years, I'm very grateful for what lessons I can glean from those relationships. The good and the challenges as well, There's something to take from all of those, put them in my little toolbox, in my little backpack, and then, keep it moving. But I know for sure in a lot of those relationships that I allowed thoughts, my own behaviors, past relationships, past violations, times where I didn't stand in my agency, my own feelings about myself, to maybe make it appear as if I did not have much light.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. Yeah.
And but by the grace,
Right.
I got to a point where I really, and I'm still, I think I'm still learning. I think I'm still experiencing. I'm still evolving. I'm still growing, and my light is continuing to get brighter. Well, I'll say the stuff that interfered with my light being as luminous as it could possibly be, those kinds of things are falling by the wayside. They're slowly dissolving. I'm getting the discernment and the wisdom to know when when that season is over, pruning season. So, sometimes you got to cut it, Sometimes you got to say no to other people and say yes to yourself. My light is bright, and I feel that my light is appearing to be even brighter because of the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm aware of and the love that we share.
And the love that you have for yourself, it seems like you found a really good balance. We were saying that we're both fire, but we both have earth signs, which keeps us grounded, right? For those who are into astrology, I'm a Leo double Capricorn.
Oh boy.
And that keeps me grounded, right? And then she has Taurus in her, baby has Taurus in her.
I'm on a cusp.
Right. So
Aries Taurus cusp.
Keeps her grounded, right? And I think sometimes for me, I can be an extremist, right? I'm learning about how things are not so black and white, and that the gray area represents balance, but I have overcompensated. So even coming into our relationship, I had a fear of, so, you get out of one relationship, be like, I'm not going to let nobody steal my light no more. Never again. My light is my light, and I'm never going to, you know what I'm saying? And then you wind up going into the next relationship and overcompensating. And I think that I was overcompensating, trying to hold on to my light, which was actually dimming my light because I was out of balance and out of alignment with what I really believe to be true. That love is luminous, but still being in that place of fear, I didn't have the balance. I was, baby, I was, oh boy, I was a little extreme sometimes, either I was being super protective of myself, and not knowing when I needed not to be so protective of myself. It's very interesting how we say, how we overcompensate, and in that, how we wind up dimming our light all over again. And the very thing that we're fighting for, we're putting ourselves right back in that space because we're not finding our light through spirit. We're finding it through ego.
Or externally. We try to reach outside of ourselves.
Right.
To make our light brighter.
Right.
This external reach for inner security.
The light really comes from a place of love, I don't think from a place of ego. So there's times where I was like, I'm this fierce lioness. For those who did not realize I was a woman with this bassy voice, that's right, I said lioness. This fierce lioness. I was not being a fierce lioness.
That was ego.
It was ego. It was straight ego. It didn't come from, and this is why I kept repeating the process, kept getting into relationships and friendships and jobs and things like that, and repeating the same thing, and then being like, but I've got my light. Why do I keep going through this? Because it was a false kind of finding. It was fool's gold.
It was false pride.
False pride. Right. What did I say? Fool's gold. Right. It was false pride.
False pride.
That's right.
I think that we did, at least this time, come to the same conclusion on this particular answer that we started out with.
About the light.
Which is, can someone dim your light?
And no.
And so I'm saying no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And now you say no. Sometimes we don't come to the same position at the end of our conversation,
which is kind of
we
fun.
Have. But this particular time we did, and we both had some movement in our perspectives. We want to know what you think.
Absolutely. We want to hear from the tribe, y'all.
Can someone dim your light? You know, do you have any insights, observations, thoughts, comments, questions?
That's right. Positive energy only here.
Love and light.
That's right. Only love and light. No drama.
That's true. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
So we invite you to join us.
Right.
For our next segment.
Which is what, babe?
It is about unplugging from the matrix.
Unplugging from the matrix.
That's our next segment.
That's our next segment for sure.
So it's not a question.
No.
It's more an observation.
Right.
And an experience.
Absolutely.
Unplugging from the matrix.
Yeah.
But again, we thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, tribe.
See you in the next one.
Peace.
To comment with love and light, find us on Instagram and our Podcast Kollective website. The podcast is for general informational and entertainment purposes only. Opinions expressed are those of the hosts, podcasters, and guests, and do not reflect those of any employers or affiliated entities. Listener discretion is advised due to potential sensitive topics and foul language.